Hello Guardians, it is Ebontis, and in this video I want to talk about an ad clearing weapon that I've been using a ton, and I think it finally just got dethroned. Now, my Brigand's Law is obviously something that sees a lot of use. Proof in the pudding, it's level 97 and nearly 98. I use this thing a ton. Now why? Last season we got introduced to a perk called Volt Shot, and honestly when it comes to ad clear, I have not found anything better. It is so good, obviously. Reloading this weapon after defeating a target charges this weapon for an improved short period of time, causing it to jolt on its next hit. Now, you've got two ways to use the jolt. If you use it on a small red bar target, you're likely to kill them very quickly, with a couple more bullets from the weapon anyway. But when you kill them, you're going to get that chain lightning that spreads to enemies around it, and you're going to be able to do a lot of damage quickly to low-level ads. Alternatively, if you've got one major sitting in a group of low-level ads, use the Volt Shot on the big guy. When you tag him and hit him a couple times, it causes that jolt to trigger again. Because if you basically look up how jolt works, the target is charged with destructive arc light. As they take additional damage while jolted, they chain lightning to nearby targets, and also tends to proc when they die. I just wanted to show you guys that. But Volt Shot in and of itself is fantastic because your ability to clear ads is so effective, and the range is better than anything we've got that's like this. I mean, Incandescent on solar weapons, cool. I love it. The explosions, the chaining of Incandescent, other things set on fire. With the Sunspot build, I've had tons of fun. Like, I still really enjoy my Mida multi-tool, but I haven't used it since I got this thing. My Mida multi-tool, sitting in my inventory, it's pretty high. It's actually not in my inventory at the moment, but I know it's pretty high. It's at least in the 60s. I passed that thing in one season with this weapon. Feeding Frenzy is why it works really well. Each rapid final blow with this weapon progressively increases reload speed substantially for a short time. So if you get a kill, you get faster reload speed. You get a couple kills, you get even more. Now, this thing only has 15 in the magazine, so it's not the most. It's a sidearm, though, so it usually hits reasonably. As for stats, I don't have like a perfect roll here because I never went back for the masterwork because I haven't really needed to. You could bump the range out to, I think, mid-40s, though, if you got like accurized rounds. If you got a range masterwork, you might be close to 50. You've got some potential, but there's also a couple issues. One, origin trait I don't love as much, especially just because it's not one I sometimes use, sometimes don't, depends on the situation, but dealing melee damage gives this weapon increased target acquisition and range for a short period of time. Now, the range isn't bad, make it more effective farther out, but the target acquisition for a sidearm is okay, because normally I would care more about that when it comes to something along the lines of like PvP is mostly it. I'm not trying to like nail every critical shot with this thing in PvE. I'm just trying to like put a few body shots into an ad, kill it, proc reload quickly, and then proc jolt on the next thing, and I don't care if it's a body shot or a headshot. I don't know his punch, and I don't really feel like I want to. So, has occasional uses for that little bit of range and, you know, better acquisition, but overall, I probably don't get as much use out of this on a consistent basis as maybe I would like to. It's not a bad one, but I think there's just better. Now, my other issue with this is how it fires. Now, I'm sitting on my just mouse and keyboard. You can test this on controller, see how it feels for you. But I'm just going to zoom in, and I'm going to touch the mouse. I'm just going to press down the fire key. The vertical climb in this weapon is crazy. Like, if I am trying to control it over here, like, that's me actually fighting the recoil over on this side. But the amount of travel vertical from this little point on the wall all the way up to beyond the top of the pipe is really high. Now, what I'm excited to show you guys is what we now have for an option. And this is what's going to replace it. Now, I haven't crafted it yet, so it's not perfect. But I was lucky enough to basically get the roll I'm looking for, which is what I'm going to use until I do craft what it is. And it is the new Ikelos SMG. Now, why do I love this thing? One, it's an SMG. Everybody tends to love these things right now. 750 RPM, aggressive frame, high damage, high recoil. Hard to argue with that one. Reload speed of 24 here. Reload speed on the other one will probably be a little faster at 58. But you've also got almost double the bullets in the magazine. Recoil direction's 90 instead of 95. Now, the recoil direction is going to be a little squirrely. I will give you that one. So it depends on how important vertical is to you. That being said, it just feels better. I did get a decent range perk here. I would probably go for small bore here for range and stability. Then on top of that, if you can craft it, you know you're going to be able to get a range masterwork if you want it. If you want stability instead, you can craft some stability into it there. So, I mean, if I want more stability, I can go a little more stability. If you want to control recoil, you can, but this would normally give you 30. It's only giving me 10, so it's not that big of a deal. And, you know, depending on your mod, probably something along the minor spec again as well. But why does this feel so much better when I just sit here in same position, not moving the mouse, not countering recoil at all? Almost half the distance over twice the bullets. Just about. Like literally half the travel distance. So if I'm over here and I'm controlling recoil, that is a pretty tight grouping. And then the kick on this thing as well, it's so minimal. If you switch back to the Brigand's Law, the kick of the gun in of itself, it's just like the whole thing is just jumping up and down constantly. And then this SMG is just kind of easy mode in comparison. Now, you may have a preference of what your ad clearing weapon is, but this one specifically is going to be mine. You've got more control. You're going to be able to get more range, so you're actually more effective farther away from you. You're going to be able to craft it just as well, so that isn't really going to be too much of a factor either way. And for me, the origin trait, breaking a target shield, partially reloads this magazine. Now, it's very simple, but when it comes to arc shields, especially this season, if you're going to be working in a lot of those heist battlegrounds, you're going to have arc captains, you're going to have arc knights, you're going to have arc shields in a lot of places. They're pretty popular. So having a good ad clearing weapon for arc that also works to have some benefit on arc shields, it's just going to have that little extra benefit as opposed to a little added range, a little added aim assist, or not aim assist. What am I looking for? Not accuracy. What is the word I'm looking for? Sorry, target acquisition. Basically, your better chance to get your headshot. It's just not something when you're just trying to ad clear, you don't care as much about headshots. And then range is nice, but this thing can outrange it. So even if I do manage to punch and proc the origin trait on the other weapon, just the fact that every so often I have a break and arc shield, I get more reload, I partially reload my magazine on this one, is one I'm probably going to notice more frequently, and nothing I have to do to proc it. It's just if I'm shooting enemies, I may just actually get this thing to proc anyway. Now, you can craft this one to have enhanced perks, slightly better here, you know, get your masterwork, which is basically going to be your, you know, handling trait here, or range if you want it, but it's just the way this thing feels. It really is. Like when I come down in here, yeah, I know it's so easy to proc whatever I want. Volt shot is amazing. Either weapon is volt shot's amazing, but I just feel like I can do exactly what I want to do. I can aim. I feel like it's more controllable. The chaining is crazy. And then here, if you, oh look, I broke a shield and I reload the magazine and now he's almost dead. But the reason I love volt shot so much is because on big guys, you can chain it multiple times. On the small guys, you'll get it once. On the big guys, you'll chain it plenty. Lasts for like 7 seconds. You always got plenty of time to proc it. Volt shot's already so good. It really is when it comes to ad clear. But the Ikelos SMG is honestly just a better version of what we had last season. So if you're going to work on crafting anything this season, this is the one I'm going to tell you to craft. More than probably anything between both Seraph and Ikelos. Because Ikelos, you've got the hand cannon, which it's a 180 void hand cannon. I just don't love it. I haven't found much perfect uses for it. You've also got the Seraph rounds, which you can put on this one, which is just like a really cool perk. So if you craft the Ikelos SMG with Seraph rounds, it's kind of damn near god tier. I mean, don't get me started on the Deepstone Crypt weapons. These are going to be really good. Different video altogether. But yeah, the Ikelos, you've got the shotgun. I'm like, nah, okay. Some uses, but not really a PvP god roll. Snipers just aren't really a PvE much of anything for me right now. They're not doing a lot for me. Trace rifles like Path of Least Resistance could be fun with Volt Shot. It's actually not bad, you know, but personally, I would probably get more out of a primary weapon than that. We've got Linear Fusion Rifle. It's the triple fire type, which I don't love. It's Stasis, which could have some unique nature, but the Fire and Forget being the aggressive, like 1, 2, 3 burst on the linear, I just don't feel like I'm as accurate as the single shot. So my preference, again, not as high. Retrofit Escapade has some potential, so I won't sleep completely on that one. But again, deep stone crypt weapons, those are going to be good. We'll do that in a different video. But for me, like, of all the different ones that you can go for crafting, and I know a lot of crafting is like the randomness of how many red borders you get, and I totally get it, but this is just, and I've been unlucky. So I've been unlucky in the crafting department, but I did get one to drop. So this is what you're looking for, and crafting is going to be almost identical. I would just probably do small bore here, range here, have this thing work at range. It's already controllable at recoil, and it just works. It puts in the work really, really well. So this is the weapon that I hope you guys can get your hands on at some point. And if you do work for crafting absolutely anything this season, this is the one that I hope you guys can craft at some point. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like below. If you have a weapon that you enjoy, add clear on better, different preference, and what the reason is, throw that in the comments. I personally enjoy this one because of what it's capable of. Your playstyle, your preferences may like something different, but let me know in the comments below. I'd love to test them out and kind of see where they land in comparison to what I'm used to. But if you guys want to find me on Twitch or Twitter, it's Ebontis. But right here on YouTube, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the alert bell. Helps my videos make it to you. I've got plenty more. We've got an exotic quest coming up on Tuesday, so join me on Twitch for that. Lots of fun coming up, and I will see you guys all very soon.